So this is the Teamgee dual screen laptop screen extender. I bought it from Amazon, and this is just looking at the box. Behind the box, just the product specifications, a couple of key accessories needed for it. The Type-C connector. There's a USB to Type-C connector. I wasn't sure what that was for. But that was also included. I was not able to connect my laptop through the USB to Type-C. It only worked with the Type-C to Type-C connector. As you can see, the box is pretty nice. It's got nice soft foam padding at the top. Kept it pretty safe. Everything was intact as I opened it. And as you can see, I'm taking it out right now. And it felt a little bulky, to be honest. I didn't know what to expect because I never owned one of these before. But I think once you first see it, it's just kind of bulky. But you have to keep in mind the part that I'm holding, that bulky part, not the screen, but the other part, kind of straps onto your laptop monitor. So it is a bit beefy, but I'm okay with that. Behind it is a support, so regardless of that weight's pulling down your laptop monitor, you do have that. You can kind of see there. I'll show you in a second. You can pull back the stand, and that will provide support for your monitor as you kind of have that whole support part to anchor to your monitor. And this is just a specification sheet with some instructions on it. You can check this out once you, if you buy one, you'll have that in there, so you can use that. I just kind of figured it out on my own. Wasn't that difficult. And below everything are all the accessories. So these are all the actual physical cords that you are going to be using, or at least for me, it was just one of them that I needed. It was the Type-C to Type-C. This one here is a USB to Type-C. That one didn't really work for me. I tried it. It wouldn't display the monitor, so I figured it was because I was using the wrong one. So this is the one that worked. And it looks like it comes with a nice velvety case. I don't know if I'll ever use this. Actually, I might if I ever go traveling somewhere and I feel like I actually need to bring this extended monitor, which I find is pretty much the reason I got it. So if I go to a coffee shop or I need to go vacation, but I have to bring my laptop, I guess it's better to have it in a case and nothing. And then I would probably just put it in my laptop bag, or another bag where I can store it safely. But it's nice to have that velvet cover on it in addition. So now this is basically the main event. So I'm just going to take the actual, I don't know what they call that. I guess the base part that you put on the monitor. It's expandable, so I think there's like a specific min and max in terms of inches that a monitor can be for it to fit. So it can't be too big, but it can't be too small. My monitor's a Dell Latitude, it's pretty small monitor. I think it's like 11.5-inch screen, but that's what it looks like when it's on. It's pretty slick actually. One thing I did notice is that once it's on, that part there is a stand. But I thought initially from the pictures I saw that the webcam would be actually covered by the casing. But I was very pleased to see that the casing fits nicely around the perimeter of the monitor, and the webcam is totally in sight. That also includes the light for the webcam, but also the little slider that I use to physically turn or close or open up the screen. So it kind of worked out. The extended monitor, one thing I noticed is that you can't really angle it. It just kind of, you can't move it up or face it down. It's just kind of angles, you know, so you choose what angle you want it at, and you can pull it in or pull it back the way it came from. But I do know that you can bring it all the way back behind the monitor. So if you wanted to share a screen with someone sitting behind you, or sorry, in front of you on the other side of the table, they can see that monitor if you wanted to. So it's kind of cool. I guess that would come in handy if you're playing some games where it requires like two people looking at their own monitors, and that'd be a cool option. But for me, this is strictly for work. Tired of lugging around 19-inch monitor with me, so it's just nice. Even though this is fairly, it's not that big. It's kind of like 12-inch, or sorry, 10 to 11-inch maybe, the monitor. It's not that big at all. It's smaller than my actual laptop monitor, as you can see here. And what I'm going to show you now is the ports on the side of the extended monitor. You can see the HDMI, USB. There's two Type-Cs there. And as you can see, I work out of my garage most of the time. It's summer. We have a shortened summer season here in Canada. So just kind of makes sense for me to work there and try to enjoy as much of the outdoors, or be as close to the outdoors as possible. I'm just plugging in my laptop. One thing you'll notice is that once you start using the extended monitor, if you're running it without your laptop battery plugged in, your juice is going to be running up pretty quick, as it requires a lot of battery power to actually run this extended monitor. But what I do usually is I try to run it as long as possible without the battery. If I feel it's getting low, or it's going on like power save mode, that's when I plug it back in until it's charged again, and I kind of repeat. But I kind of know what the limit is, or how long it roughly takes. I know over time there's battery decay to some extent, I'm sure. So just something to consider. And I think here I'm just going to show you how it's connecting to the USB. This is actually my first time trying it, and I actually use the USB to Type-C connector, and you'll see that it doesn't actually connect. I get this little error warning or error message that says cannot display the screen. I was kind of stuck on this for a bit because I was trying to figure out why it's not working, and I guess for this extended monitor, it's just not meant to be used from the USB, because I just realized because it requires the laptop's battery power, you have to connect it to the Type-C, right? And the Type-C to Type-C provides that juice that it requires to run, right? Even without, well, in my case, I don't need the actual, I got lucky, I don't need the actual battery plugged in at all time, but like I said, the juice runs out pretty darn fast. And I think that's just me still fidgeting away, and it did not occur to me that I should be using the Type-C to Type-C, so this is just me kind of wasting time here, trying to figure things out to no avail. But then I just eventually tried the right cords, the Type-C to Type-C, and then it worked. So I'm just going to fast forward to that part. And as you can see, there is the Type-C connectors that I'm opening up, taking out of the little packet, and I am going to plug it in from the laptop. There's that one Type-C connection going into the Type-C of the extended monitor, and it's just that simple. You just kind of plug it in, and eventually you'll see the screen display. Obviously you're going to have to tinker around with your monitor settings just to make sure that if you want either, however you want it, whether it's mirrored screens or you extend it, which is probably what most people do, is they want the extended mode. You just play around with it. This is me just kind of playing around with the buttons, trying to figure it out. The buttons are actually pretty easy to use. I think once you start, you don't even really need the manual. You can just like play around with the buttons and you'll figure out what you need to press to go down the actual menu or adjust some of the toggles and so on. So it's pretty straightforward. Nothing that I need to go into detail on this demonstration. But I liked it. The screen was nice. I had control over how bright it is and, you know, the settings behind it. It's decent. It does what I need it to do. It's not overly complex. I've seen other ones in Amazon. This one was right in that lower price range, but it does the job, and that's all I really cared about. And that's just me disconnecting my laptop from the power bank, and as you can see, it still works. And that's a big deal for me, because sometimes if, say I'm going somewhere and I really just needed maybe half an hour to an hour of work time, I could probably go from a full powered laptop and work for about over an hour with the extended monitor. And it's just nice to not have to have it plugged into power all the time. And this is just me just kind of going through the display settings and just creating the extended laptop and just kind of switching it around, making sure that my main monitor is the actual laptop and the extended monitor is the Teamgee P1. Still not sure if that's exactly what it's called, but based on looking at the box, that's what it is. A good product so far, so good. Right now I'm doing the voiceover. I've had this for about 3-4 weeks now, I think, and I've had no problems whatsoever. It's kind of weird because I've always just watched people use these on YouTube videos or watch them in ads on Amazon or people's reviews, and I just never had one for my own, nor do I know anyone that has an extended screen. But now that I have one for myself, it's kind of even better. I have a perspective of actually owning one, so it is the real deal. Like it's I always wondered if it's actually as useful and innovative as I had pictured, and it actually is. Now that I have it, it's made life a lot simpler when it comes to work. And again, I have very simple requirements, nothing fancy. Just an added screen's all I needed for my day job. Although the screen is small, it's good enough. I know they have extended monitors that aren't physically like attached to your monitor like this one, but you can get ones that are kind of like a regular monitor, but they're really slim and a little smaller and lighter. You can bring them around, but I wanted this because I just like that ability to have it append or attached to my monitor, and then just use it as so, and it's just more portable that way. You don't have to worry about carrying two things when this is actually attached to your laptop. It's really, you're just carrying one thing at a time. And I think I'm just trying to take it off here, and as you can see, it you can actually one thing cool about it, like I said, if you wanted a separate monitor type of like physically separate, you can actually take it off. If you're like a developer or someone that's looking through like many lines of code, or if you're just like don't want to scroll so much and you want to have a verticalized screen, you can set it up that way to display vertical. And that's one unique feature about it. You can kind of use it not even as an extendable monitor, but a fully separate monitor. You can have it horizontal or landscape, or you can have it like this, portrait, vertical. Nice option to have. And I think I tried to play around with the settings in the Windows screen there. Let me see. I'm just watching this recording I made from a while ago, so that's why this voiceover, I don't really remember the exact order, but I think what I'm doing here is just trying to kind of organize what the setup may be like for my desk, trying to see if I might like the vertical like display with just my regular monitor. But I mean, over time I decided that is not the way I want to function. But this is me just kind of playing around with it. See, I drag the extended monitor to the left and toggled in to the side. And there you can kind of see I kind of made it like a vertical screen. Not used to it. I know a lot of folks do it, even at work where I worked before. I see a lot of developers where they have the monitors side by side. Sometimes they have like 3 big monitors, 17 to like 24-inch monitors that are literally vertical, but they're always looking at code and, you know, troubleshooting, debugging and all that. So I guess it helps for that. I don't do too much of that anymore, at least, but it's a nice option to have if you wanted to. So I'm sure there's going to be a few folks that would be interested in this for this feature or this additional capability. And here I'm just going to show you just me dragging over a browser onto the verticalized format. There you go. So it's kind of neat. So if that's something you like, this is definitely an option. One thing you will find though, if you have it in this vertical position, the base kind of sticks out a bit. You can kind of see it behind the monitor there. It's actually overhanging the table. So you got to watch out if that's a wall on that side. It may not be the best idea because that thing is going to be hitting up against the wall. Right, so you may have to push it forward, which you may not find too convenient. Right, so that's another thing. If there's no wall, you got to watch out. If someone's walking by and you hit it, you may knock it over or just kind of move it around, which may not be too safe, especially if you have like a coffee next to it like I do there. Lucky it's got a cover. But overall, it's a good product. I've had it for about 3-4 weeks now, so no bad things about it, although it does eat up on your battery of your laptop if you don't have it plugged in. So that's just one thing you want to consider, but that's just something you'd expect. It's so resource intensive. So anyways, if you want to try it out, I definitely recommend it. If you want to reach out to me, feel free to add a comment and I'll get back to you when I can. Take care. Thank you all.